They said Colorado was a circus. But what Warren Sapp just revealed, it flips everything.
You coach there. Why do people always have to put out there when it's a black man running the team that is unorganized and they come up and we do it to ourselves? I mean, this man is running a top of the line organization. You coaching it.
Every time you get a bunch of black folks in a place and a couple black folks walk out the door, black folks been known to talk trash about the last place they left.
Yo, stop scrolling right now, because what I'm about to show you, this is not a rumor. This is not some random Twitter beef. This is a Hall of Famer, a man who actually coached inside Deion Sanders' program at Colorado. Warren Sapp, sitting down on Uncle Luke's podcast and saying things out loud that the entire NFL world has been whispering behind closed doors for 2 years. And when you hear what he said, you are going to understand exactly why Shedeur Sanders fell in that NFL draft. You are going to understand why players were leaving Colorado. And you are going to ask yourself one very uncomfortable question. Was Coach Prime building a football dynasty, or was he building a brand? Stay with me, because this one hits different.
I'm gonna echo the sentiments of my ex-head coach that I just left. He is the fairest, roughest, toughest Florida boy I run with other than you. He called it like he see it. Ain't no underneath the table, innuendo. It's right up top. There's nothing hidden. We gonna let you know exactly what we expect of you. You will be at breakfast. You will go over and get them little vitamins from the nutritionist lady.
Now, before we get into it, let's be real clear about something. Warren Sapp is not just some guy with an opinion. This man is a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He was one of the most dominant defensive tackles to ever put on a helmet. He played 13 years in the NFL. He knows what professional discipline looks like. He knows what a winning culture feels like. And here's the part that makes everything he said so important. Warren Sapp didn't watch Deion Sanders' program from the outside. He was inside it. He was on the coaching staff at Colorado. He saw everything firsthand. The locker room, the meetings, the workouts, the players, the culture, all of it. So when Warren Sapp speaks on Coach Prime's program, this is not an outsider talking. This is a man who lived it. And that is what makes Uncle Luke's podcast interview so explosive right now. So here's what happened. Uncle Luke, the Uncle Luke, Luther Campbell, he pulls Warren Sapp onto his podcast. And right away, Luke brings up the elephant in the room. He points out that there's a former Colorado staff member who went over to LSU with Lane Kiffin and has been throwing shade at Coach Prime's program publicly. And Warren Sapp, he didn't hesitate for even 1 second. He said, and I want you to hear this clearly, he said Coach Prime is the fairest, roughest, toughest man he's run with. He said there is nothing hidden in that program. Everything is right up top. Transparent, direct, no games, no back channels, no secret agendas. Sapp broke down exactly what the Daily Standard looks like inside Colorado under Deion Sanders. We're talking mandatory breakfast, vitamins from the nutritionist, weight check-ins, hydration monitoring. They are literally checking the color of your urine to make sure you're hydrated properly. PE tests, study hall hours, film work every single week. Now, some of y'all are reading that and thinking, that sounds intense. And yeah, it is. But here's the thing Warren Sapp made crystal clear. That is not abuse. That is not chaos. That is a championship level standard. That is what separates the men who make it in professional football from the ones who wash out. And Sapp said something that hit me hard. He said, you either get better or you get worse. Every single morning at Colorado, Deion's staff is revving those players up.
I just want y'all to know that Warren Sapp ain't lying, bro. Like, a lot of these players get here, they don't want to go to school. They don't want to be in a class. They just got a $500,000 or maybe $1 million. They feel like they passed that part. Well, when you go to Colorado, Coach Prime expects you to go to school and have your grades. That's just part of the deal. And I'm gonna leave it at that. But he's definitely telling you the truth.
Something to say on the back end. You know this.
Now here's where it gets real. Here's where Warren Sapp dropped the truth bomb that has the internet losing its mind right now. Because everyone has been asking the same question for 2 years. Why did so many players transfer out of Colorado? Why did guys keep leaving Coach Prime's program? And the media ran with every single negative narrative they could find. The program is disorganized. Deion Sanders is too focused on the cameras. It's a circus, not a football team. Warren Sapp looked right into that camera and said, "Stop it." He said he personally knows why certain players left, and the reason is not what the media has been selling you. The reason is simple. Some of these players, guys who just signed for $500,000, some for $1 million in NIL money, they did not want to go to school. They did not want to sit in class. They did not want to check in every morning. They felt like their bank account meant they had already graduated from accountability. And Coach Prime told them, no, not here. You will go to class. You will maintain your grades. That is non-negotiable. And when those players couldn't handle that standard, they left. They went somewhere with fewer expectations. And then, and this is the part that should make every real football fan angry, some of them started talking trash about the program on their way out the door. Sapp called it out directly. He said when black people leave a black-led organization, there's this tendency to talk down on it, to question it, to make it look bad. And he said he's tired of watching people give those negative stories legs to run on, because all it does is hurt a program that is genuinely trying to do something special. Now I want to slow down here for a second, because Warren Sapp went somewhere in this interview that was genuinely powerful, and it deserves more than just a highlight clip. He talked about what it meant to him, personally, to finally have a black head coach. When Tony Dungy came into his life in the NFL, he said before Dungy, he never had a black coach, not once. And when Dungy walked through that door, Sapp said something that gave me chills. He said he told himself, I am not going to mess this up, because if I mess this up, I will kill every opportunity for every other brother down the line. Think about that weight. Think about that pressure. That is the reality of being a black man in a space where your failures don't just belong to you. They become the ammunition people use against everyone who looks like you. And that is why Warren Sapp went to Colorado. Not for a paycheck, not for the spotlight. He went there because he wanted to help Deion Sanders build something that would open doors for more black coaches, more black leaders, more black men in positions of power in this sport for men. He said, and these are basically his words, a black man at the front of a football program is something different. It changes the dynamic in the locker room. It changes what's possible for young black athletes. And the attacks on Coach Prime's program are not just attacks on Deion Sanders. They are attacks on that vision.
It's a different environment on the college campus when that young man got a check like that. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to let him see the light to my retired mama. See, my mama retired now. You telling me? Because, you know, hey, man, there's more money in college. I'm trying to figure out what Cameron Boozer going. Where you going, boy? You don't need no NFL, NBA check. I sit in college for the what? They'd have to kick me out of college now, Luke. Are you kidding me? Shit.
I think he should stay. I mean, we switching subjects, but yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Now, let's bring it back to Shedeur, because that's what's dominating the headlines right now. Shedeur Sanders, Deion's son, one of the most hyped quarterback prospects in recent memory, and his complicated road into the NFL. Warren Sapp touched on something that goes deeper than just Shedeur's arm talent or his stats. He talked about the environment these young men are operating in now. NIL money, massive contracts before they've proven anything at the professional level, and the difficulty of getting a young man, even a talented one, to keep that championship hunger when he's already cashing big checks. Sapp said it's hard. It is genuinely hard to help a young man see the bigger picture when he's already feeling financially secure. And that challenge, that does not just apply to random recruits. That applies to every young man in this new college football landscape. And here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody in mainstream media wants to say directly. Shedeur Sanders entered the NFL draft carrying not just his own hype, but the weight of his father's entire brand. Every camera, every Netflix documentary, every Instagram post, every headline, all of it surrounded Shedeur before he threw a single NFL pass. And whether that helped him or hurt him with NFL front offices, that is the conversation that Warren Sapp's interview has cracked wide open. Because scouts don't just evaluate your arm, they evaluate your situation. They evaluate the circus that might come with you. And the Sanders circus, love it or hate it, is one of the biggest in the history of college football. Here's where we are right now. Shedeur Sanders is with the Cleveland Browns. He is fighting for his career. Coach Prime is rebuilding Colorado without Shedeur, without Travis Hunter. And somehow people are already criticizing a team that hasn't played a single game yet.
Warren Sapp's message was clear. Stop the premature judgment. Stop giving negative narratives legs to run on. Wait and see what this new Colorado team looks like when they actually step on the field. But more than that, recognize what Coach Prime is building. Recognize the standard he is holding these young men to. Recognize that the players who couldn't meet that standard chose to leave, and their complaints on the way out the door do not define what is happening inside that program. Because inside that program, every morning, breakfast, vitamins, hydration check, film work, study hall, standards. That is not a circus. That is how you build champions. And that right there is the real story behind Warren Sapp, Coach Prime, and Shedeur Sanders that the mainstream media does not want to give you in full context.
Sapp didn't come on Uncle Luke's podcast to throw dirt on anybody. He came on to tell the truth. And the truth is, Coach Prime is running a top-tier organization. The players who left couldn't meet the standard. And the people attacking this program from the outside need to ask themselves whose agenda they're really serving. Now, I want to know your thoughts. Do you think Deion's spotlight helped Shedeur or hurt him? Drop it in the comments right now. Let's talk about it. And if you are new here, if somebody sent you this video or it popped up on your feed, do yourself a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now, because we bring you the real stories, the full context, not just the hot takes. We do the work so you don't have to. Hit subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Shake the haters off.